not a guess. This is something that you're Googling.
Talk about something and make it seem like I know all about it, know what it is about people who make printers, but like, step your game up. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Just there was a little bit of snow on the ground this morning, so it
You
felt
got snow
breezy.
before us.
We did. It's been cold here, like
Mm,
3 degrees, and
it
there's
has
snow. I'm looking up. There's a lot of snow on the mountains, so
beautiful.
might be a snowy Christmas. We'll see.
Hope so.
Today's episode, we are just gonna do a little quick Q&A.
And
So,
I'm Deidre from Our Upcycled Life,
and my
and this
name's
is
Kristen.
my daughter, Kirsten.
Yes, we should remember to do that.
In case there's new people that are just coming in and not sure, and they're like, who are these two girls? Well, we're a mother and daughter team running Our Upcycled Life, and we're going to answer some of the Q&A questions today.
Exactly. So, if anyone is here from the last Q&A, we did a quick episode where I pulled some questions from your YouTube comments on other videos that I thought people would want to know the questions to. And in that one, we asked people to comment their questions, and in the next one, we would read them out. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to read some of those comments and questions that people left, and you are going to answer them.
And we got some really great ones. So if
Okay.
you have a project that you're working on and you got some stumbling blocks, or you're not sure what to do, or you're looking for a recipe, ask down in those comments and we're going to address them in these podcasts.
Exactly. So, getting right into it, the first question that we have is from ChuckFree5914. And they said, followed your advice and got a laser printer. It's the only one I use and I love it. Printing on tissue paper is a lifesaver. That's a good tip. Maybe we should put that video in the description if anyone wants to know how you can print on tissue paper.
Yes.
They asked, what's the best app to use to reverse an image?
First of all, using tissue paper to print on makes beautiful decoupaging sheets. And then you can take those images and you can put it on your projects that you're working for. Because if you have ever shopped for decoupaged images that are already pre-printed, pricey, really pricey. So you can make your own on tissue paper. You can also use one sheet of a napkin and make your own. Or I also have all kinds of graphics in our graphic club that you can print on napkins. That is great if anyone's interested, or if you already ever joined the graphic club, we'll put that link down below in the description. But there's lots of images there. But if you are going to be printing something that has words in it, or your image is something that you don't want to be flipped, then you have to reverse your image. And what I like to use is Google Docs. It's free, and you don't have to pay for a subscription to use it. And it's really easy to go in there and navigate and switch your images over if you need to for words and stuff like that.
And you have a video on that as well, don't
I
you?
do. I have a full tutorial on how to use Google Docs and reverse images. Yeah. So we'll put that down below too.
So you can use that. And then also, if you're more familiar with maybe use Canva, you can do it on there as well.
Yeah, you can in Canva too. Yeah.
You
I'm
get
not
just
sure,
a little
but
flip button.
I'm not 100% sure though if you can do it without a premium membership.
That is a good point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that might be something you want to look into. If you have Canva and you're not paying for premium, see if you can find that reverse. But I do know if you do have the premium, then you can over there too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered their question. This one is kind of followed up in the same vein as a previous question, but this is from Glenda Cox 6540. They asked, what brand laser printer do you use?
I have a Brother printer, and I have had it for probably, I'm thinking 6 or 7 years. And that printer has, oh my goodness, I don't even know how many sheets it's printed out. I have done thousands and thousands, and it has never, ever given me an ounce of trouble. The only thing with the laser printer that I have is it only has the black ink. And I think my next investment, I'm going to be buying a laser printer that also does color to do the color and the black ink. So that might be my Christmas present this year.
Christmas present to yourself?
Yeah, maybe. Again, I think
So,
I would stay with the brother line though. I really like them.
well, if it lasts on, I have a beef with printers. They never work properly. So if a printer works well, then yeah, stick with that line because oh my god, they can be a pain to set up and keep working. And yeah,
Yeah, and like I
even
said,
like good printers, I don't know what it is about people who make printers, but like step your game up.
yeah.
Again, more of my opinions. Do you know roughly how much your laser printer cost? If
Yeah,
people
you
are
can
looking to buy
grab the
one.
one that I have, and we'll put the link to it down in the description. The one that
Mm.
I have right now is, I think it's around 200 Canadian. So that's not bad
Probably like
American.
160, 175
160,
American.
170, yeah. So they're not like they used to be. They used to be really expensive, almost unaffordable. And you usually only saw the laser printers being used in like offices or, professional businesses, where now it's kind of a staple. You can get them in the home, in your home, and a lot more affordable. And for sure, you can find them for under $200.
So, oh, this is actually just my question because I don't really like I know, but I don't know. But is it the ink that's different?
So there's an inkjet printer,
Yeah.
which uses ink. And then there's the laser printer, which uses a toner. So it's two completely
Mm,
different formulas,
mm. What's
which
toner?
I don't know the scientific part of it. I just know that inkjet is great for it. Just you can't do a lot of transfers very well with an inkjet because the ink runs really easy. There's a couple other steps that you have to do to make sure that it doesn't happen when you're doing transfers. But a laser printer which has toner works amazing for doing transfers and it doesn't run.
Well, now I'm invested in the science behind this, so I feel like I need to look it up.
Okay, so
And
next podcast, you can have the technology behind what is the difference between an inkjet printer and a laser printer.
so I'm going to make an educated guess and then we're going to
Yes.
see if I'm right. And I'm going to have
Okay.
to remember to follow up on this. But this is my educated guess. I'm guessing that an inkjet printer, the ink permeates the paper. So it sinks into the paper, which will then make the ink run because you actually have a lot more ink
Yeah.
on the paper.
Okay.
Whereas a toner just puts it on the surface of the paper. So then it's easier to transfer. This is my educated guess. I don't
No,
know
this
if
is
I'm
not
right.
a guess. This is something that you're Googling and you're
No,
just
I
trying to
swear to God.
outsmart.
I swear to God I didn't. Like pinky swear I didn't. This is something that I just came up with now that I'm thinking might be right. But
Okay. Well, and that could possibly be 100% because it makes sense. Because when we're doing a transfer with a laser printer, it works amazing. So that would make sense. It's only sitting on top of the paper and not soaking in. Let's find out. We're going to
we
find
will
out
see.
next episode.
I'll look it up for the next episode and see if I'm right.
Okay.
One of my skills is that I can talk about something and make it seem like I am know all about it, and a lot of the times I'm actually just totally wrong. So we'll see.
Okay.
Next question from Sonia Brooke, 1487. What kind of top coat do you use over wood stain, and what do you use to apply it?
I am a huge lover of water-based polyacrylic sealer, and that's what
Mm.
I use on probably 90% of my projects. Very durable, water-based, so you can clean it up. It's not an oil base where you have to, fool around, either throw your paintbrush out or use some sort of a cleaner to clean up your paintbrushes. And I just like the finish of it. It just makes a really nice finish, and you can get it in your matte, your gloss, your semi-gloss, and it's available almost at every hardware store. So that would be like
So,
your polyacrylic sealer.
so what is the difference between an oil base and a water based sealer mainly?
Is just the formula of how it is made. So like an oil base is you're not taking it to the sink after you're finished and cleaning it up with soap and water. It's an oil
because it's
base.
oily.
Right, yeah. Where with a water base, then you can take your paintbrushes and you can wash them. Now, after they're dry, of course, they're hard and they're not wiping off with water. But while they're in that liquid state, that's the difference. Again, I don't know the scientific part of it. That might be something that you can Google again and look it up.
I'm over that one. I don't really care about stain that much. But what would be the purpose of using an oil one?
I think I honestly, I don't know. Let's look that up.
Okay, I'm
When
gonna
would we
make
use
notes.
when would it be a benefit to use an oil-based sealer over a water-based sealer?
You know what? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT because this one I want to know right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
When Why would you use an oil-based sealer over a water-based sealer and vice versa? Please. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT. Choosing between an oil-based and a water-based sealer depends on your project's specific requirement. Yeah. Advantages: oil-based sealers. Durability: they penetrate deeper into the wood, they're longer lasting, good for high traffic areas.
Ah, okay.
A rich finish creates a warm tone, enhances the grain. It is moisture resistant. That makes sense. So if you're doing any outdoor projects, you should use
Right.
oil base. It has a slower drying time, so it allows more time to have a smooth application. So those are the advantages. Disadvantages: odor and VOCs, volatile organic compounds. I'm learning about this, and
Yeah.
I've never knew about it.
Yeah.
Cleanup, drying time, which is what you said. Water-based sealers, low odor and VOCs, so it's more environmentally safe, which is good. Fast drying. Color clarity: maintains the color of the wood. So if you like
Yeah.
the color of your wood, easy cleanup, like you said, clean with soap and water. Durability: disadvantages: durability, may not penetrate, less warmth, um, and it dries quickly, so you don't have as much time to make that suit. So I guess it just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing something outdoor, you want it longer lasting. You're doing the painting outside because it has that high odor, then you might want to go for an oil. But it sounds like 90% of the stuff you're doing, you'd want to use water based.
Yeah, and that's exactly. So there, that's a great answer. Good job.
They got more than they bargained for on that question.
Yes.
Last question I have here is from Susan Hawk 4606. Can you use house paint to make chalk paint?
So house paint, as far as I know, is latex paint.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the base of chalk paint. So
Mm.
I think maybe she's just misunderstanding the difference between a latex and a house paint, and it is the same thing.
Okay, so what paint would you not want to use for chalk paint?
An oil-based paint,
Right.
acrylic paint doesn't work very well. A ceiling paint
Okay.
doesn't work well. Yeah, just like the ordinary wall, something that you would put on your wall. A latex water-based paint works best for your chalk paint recipe.
So if you have any old paint sticking around or kicking around from like painting another wall or something, you can definitely turn that into chalk paint and use it on your furniture.
100%. Yes.
Or do the thing that I think you talked about in another video, which is where you get oops paint, and I didn't know what oops paint meant.
Yeah. So a lot of times, if you're going to the hardware store and they've mixed up a little can of paint and someone hasn't come back to pick it up, or they don't like the color after it's mixed, they have a little section where you can go buy cheaper paint, like really cheap. And I always check that out because you can get some really great deals there and mix it into your chalk paint if you want it.
Someone down the road from us when I was out walking the other day had 3 things of like free paint from, I'm
Ah,
assuming, painting their house. And
yep.
I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know what I would use that for.
The only thing you have to be careful with that is you want to make sure that it hasn't frozen. So if
Well,
it's
it wouldn't
something,
freeze here.
yeah, probably not. I mean, here they would, like, you never know if they've left it in their garage, and you would know because it goes solid and it goes kind of crumbly almost when it
Mm.
freezes. But yeah, always, yeah, if you've got friends that are finished painting and they have little odds and ends of paint, it can be made into chalk paint really easy.
And a good way to use up something so it's not you know, just getting
Sus-
thrown out.
Sustainability. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Well, that was all the questions I had from people who had commented on the previous Q&A episode. I don't think that I can think of any of myself based on your newest videos, but if you do
Okay.
have questions that are regarding maybe something you saw in one of the newest videos, or a question that you have as you're doing more like Christmas crafting or something like that, then feel free to put it in the comment, and we will pull those up for the next Q&A episode. And that was it.
That's perfect. I thought that was some good questions. So
They were good questions,
keep
yeah.
them coming. Yeah.
Yep. And you never know what people are like. Sometimes it's you don't realize what maybe you missed in explaining something because you're just doing it. So yeah, those questions are, if you have a question, it's someone else has that same question. So
Exactly.
put it in the box below, because you'll help yourself and you'll also help lots of
And
other
if we can't do it, ChatGPT is going to help us.
people. And I will come back. I will do a full book report on inkjet versus laser printer and why it works better for um, image transfer, and I will present my findings next week.
Excellent. All right. Okay.
Okay.
That's it for today. We'll wrap it up.
Sounds good. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.